Hello and welcome to week 19, piece 37 of the Wall of Stitches Crochet Along. And for this piece, we're going to be using the Kiel Rib stitch. So this is an interesting stitch which creates this rows of raised texture across the front. And it's just a different way of making a rib. So for this piece, you're going to be making a foundation chain of 31. So to start the Kiel Rib stitch, we're going to be making a half double crochet in the second chain from your hook. And I'm just going to mark that half double crochet as the first stitch of our row. And then make a half double crochet in each stitch across. So the Kiel Rib is a simple stitch. And it's a 4-row repeat, but only using 2 different stitches. But that lovely ribbing is created by taking advantage of the third loop of the half double crochet and the really lovely the way slip stitches lie. Okay, so row 1, just half double crochet in each stitch across. Then you're going to turn and chain 1. So for row 2, we're going to be working in the back loop only. So you've got the front loop here, so this is the third loop of the half double crochet. This other front loop, that is the proper front loop, and then the back loop here, we're just going to slip stitch into. So we're going to slip stitch in every stitch across, but only using the back loop. So try and keep your slip stitches nice and loose, as we will be working into in the next stitch. And if you make them too tight, everything's going to pucker up and your piece won't lie flat. So you can have to avoid the temptation of pulling those stitches tight. So just slip stitch in the back loop only in every stitch across. Yeah, drop some yarn there. Do that again. And into final stitch, again, just slip stitch, back loop only. And that's row 2, and you can see how all that lovely texture is already starting to sit. Okay, so row 3, we're going to turn and chain 1. We're going to be working in the back loop only again. So, back loop of your slip stitch, and this is another row of slip stitches. And mark that as my first stitch. And then back loop only, slip stitch into every stitch across, but only using the back loop again. So this is a 4-row repeat for the Kiel Rib. So, end of row 3, we're going to turn. So it now looks like this. Chain 1, row 4 is again another row of slip stitches using the back loop only. So there's going to be 3 rows of slip stitches and 1 row of half double crochet for the repeat. And same as before, just slip stitch, oops, cross my yarn there, slip stitch in the back loop only in every stitch across. And it's that hidden row of slip stitches you don't see row 3 when it's finished. It's that row that kind of gives it its stretch for the ribbing. And there you go. So there is stretch to it once you get it going. Okay, so row 5. So essentially this is a repeat of row 1, but again we're just working in the back loop only. So turn, chain 1 and back loop only, make a half double crochet in the first stitch and then make a half double crochet in each stitch across. Oh, that lovely texture then just sits. Just making these lovely panels of ribs on the front. So back loop only, all the way across. And there is your panel of ribbing. So to complete your Kiel Rib stitch, you're going to be repeating rows 2 to 5 until you have 16 rows in total. So you're going to end with a repeat of row 4 for row 16. Once you finish row 16, you can cut off and weave in your ends, and then it's time to add your border. So for this piece, you're going to be adding a single crochet into every stitch across the top and bottom to give 30 stitches on each edge. And down the sides, you're going to make a single crochet into the side of every row except the repeats of row 3. So you're not going to work into the repeats of row 3 at all. You ignore that row. And that will give you 14 single crochet down each side. Then add your extra stitch in each corner for the turn. And that's round 1. And then you can add rounds 2 and 3 as well. So there's no joining this week. So this is the first piece of your next row. And then we're going to move on to our next piece, which is the spiked V-stitch. I shall see you in the next video of that.